had the hiccups.
You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you figure out how to record it?
Yeah, it's recording now.
Oh, we've been recording the whole time?
Oh, yeah, I can stop and start again.
We've been sitting here and talking for the first 4 minutes. I was wondering what you were doing on the other end. Okay, cool. Alright, so perfect. So let's just do the 3, 2, 1.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Just want to make sure it's recording, then we don't have it back. Alright, so let's just start off with give me an introduction, your name, your age, and your religion.
Okay, my name is Catherine Myricks. I just turned 19, and my religion is Christianity. Like Church of God. It's like a branch of Christianity.
Wait, I just cut you off. Sorry, say that again.
My name is Catherine Myricks. I'm 19, and I'm a Christian. My religion's Christian, and we're like Church of God Christians. Well, my family is.
Perfect. And so what does that mean?
What Church of God means is like we're just like average Christians. Like they believe that Jesus is the Son of God, and like we only pray to God and we pray to Jesus, but we don't pray to like any of the saints. And we use like a average Bible. We're just like an average Christian family. Yeah, but my church is Church of God, and yeah, we like come from like you don't drink and stuff, like because you don't need that, and you don't smoke or anything. You're not supposed to smoke. You're not supposed to drink. You're not supposed to cuss. That's pretty much how it is.
And so you definitely uphold all those rules, right?
Yes, and you're not supposed to have sex before marriage, and everything you do is supposed to be in God's name. Like everything you do, you're representing God. You're supposed to represent
Perfect.
God.
And so are you obeying all those rules, or what's going on?
I am not obeying all these rules. I have sex. I just got laid last night. I smoke a lot. I do drink. I don't drink a lot because it makes me sick. Because I got alcohol poisoning one time. But I definitely do break these rules a lot.
Awesome. And so let's talk about growing up. Were your parents very religious? Were you raised in the church? Give me kind of a detailed background on that.
Okay, growing up, both my parents, when I was younger, both of my parents worked at my church, and my church has school built on it too, so I would go to school there too. And when I was younger, I literally was in the church all the time, like every day till night, like 'cause my parents worked there. And yeah, we used to go to church every Sunday when I was younger. Like it was mandatory. You had to go to church every Sunday. It was mandatory that you had to go to church on Wednesday, attend Sunday school, and attend the youth activities also. And like I said, I went to Christian school. My school was attached. My middle school, from kindergarten actually from preschool to 8th grade, I went to that church school, and then I went to a private high school.
Perfect. And so are you still religious?
Um, I don't know if I'm still religious. I ended up like looking into other religions and like different philosophies as I got older, and like from different people I started hanging out with. Like I started hanging out with like expanding my group of people. Like I wasn't hanging out with the people I grew up with and went to church with. I started hanging out with a new group of people, and they like kind of like taught me into like different views. But I still believe that Jesus is God, and I still have like the basic foundation of my religion, but I don't believe everything that they say in the Bible and stuff. I know it kind of sounds like a contradiction, but I don't know. There's just so much more out there that I believe in, or that I like, or I'm interested in.
Perfect. So do you go to church like every Sunday, or I mean, 'cause I know your parents are so religious. Just kind of lay that out for me. And pretend like the people that are going to listen to this have no idea what went down when we tried the video with you.
Oh yeah.
Like that. So tell me a little bit about how religious your parents are. What you think about you not really being that religious anymore.
Okay. Well, my parents, I live with them. I moved back in with my parents, and they tried to make me go to church on Sunday. But when I wasn't living with them, when they kicked me out, I wasn't going to church. I haven't gone to church in a couple months. Like, I went to church last Sunday, and that was like my first time going in like a long time. I didn't even stay inside church. I stood outside the whole time. But I'm sorry.
Wait, why do you sit outside? What do you mean by that?
Me and Amber went together. I just didn't feel comfortable going inside. I had on weed socks for one thing because we went out the night before, and I still had the outfit I had on from the night before. We had to meet her parents up there. I just didn't feel comfortable. Like,
so you sat through the service on the steps or something?
yeah, they had like these benches like in like this little hallway, so we just sat out there the whole time and talked. Like, we didn't even go inside church.
Oh my goodness. And so why did your parents kick you out of the house?
Because my dad was out of town, and I snuck a boy. I thought my mom was asleep, and I snuck a boy inside my house that I had been hooking up with. And my mom walked in on us hooking up. And she called the police and said that we were trespassing. So we had to hide in my tree house for like 4 hours until the police left.
No way. So, oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so many questions to ask. So why don't we go, back a little more?
Okay.
Talk about your schooling. I think you said you went to Christian school or Catholic school, and you got kicked out. Tell me a little bit about that, and maybe is that where those problems stemmed, as far as where the problems started, as far as with your parents and everything?
Yeah, well, because I went to, like I said, I went to not Catholic high school. It was like a Christian high school. Like, there wasn't like a main, like, it wasn't like Catholic, and it wasn't like a certain thing. It was just Christian. Like, they just taught us about God. Like, it wasn't a certain domination. But yeah, like, I got kicked out my sophomore year because off of a rumor, even though it's true, they still like kicked us out off of a rumor that they heard that I was smoking weed at a class party, which is sponsored by the school. But we weren't even on the property. Like, we walked a mile back into the forest and smoked weed out of like a water bottle. We made a bong out of a water bottle and smoked back there. And people knew because we smoked whatever, and we had the munchies like crazy. We walked back in the kids' house, ate all their food, who was having a party, and then we vandalized this girl's car that we didn't like. And it got back. I knew people know, so I skipped school that following Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. And like, my friend called me and said that the school had found out about like what happened. They were like, they might kick us out. So I just thought I should tell my parents ahead of time so it wouldn't be like a big old bomb being dropped on them. So I told my mom, and she was like, it's like she wasn't really shocked. I feel like she knew I was doing that stuff, but she was like in denial. So like, it wasn't a shock, but like, my dad freaked. He took me to Dan Street, which is a juvenile detention, which is like teenage jail here in Akron. And he like made me go to drug counseling, and he like made me tell him how many times I smoked before. I didn't tell him the truth because he like lied and told me that he would find out how many times I've smoked. So I lied and told him 3 times when it was like, I've been smoking weed since I was 13. So I lied and told him like 3 times or whatever. He like made me like go through all these like programs to try to get me to stop or whatever. And I had to do 150 community service hours and write a 2-page paper.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it was a bummer.
So did you end up getting kicked out?
They kicked me out for the rest of my sophomore year and then accepted me back in my junior year. But
Wow.
yeah, it sucked because when I got back to school, like CVC was kind of school like you got judged if you got kicked out or suspended for anything. So like a lot of kids just thought I was like this horrible person. But I found out who my real friends are. Like I still hang out with the kids who were like friends with me through all that bullshit that happened. So yeah, like when I got back to school it was like hell, but I managed to still live and graduate even though it sucked.
Wow. Okay. And now, does anybody in your family, are any of them like part of the church, like pastors or deacons or whatever?
Yeah, my dad is a pastor. He went to school for theology. He has an honorary doctorate from Anderson University, and that's a Christian college or whatever. And he was on the board of Anderson University, which is like I said, Christian college. My mom's dad was a pastor. My grandmother on my dad's side is a pastor. My great uncle is a pastor. I think my great grandpa was a pastor too. So it kind of like,
Wow.
yeah, like family full of
And
pastors.
so you're a pastor's daughter.
Yes, I'm a problem child. I'm a preacher's kid.
Awesome. And so I'm assuming that your dad still, is he still part of the church? Like, is he a pastor at one of the local churches in town?
He actually he's not the pastor of the local church. He's over my church has different branches all over the country, and he's the boss. Like he makes sure that they're doing okay financially and everything. Like I wouldn't say he's like the pope of our church, but he just makes sure he has to make sure everything's okay and everything's going smoothly in the church, in all of our churches. So he travels a lot too.
And so you gotta tell me a little bit more about your kind of take on religion. I know that you had mentioned that obviously you still believe in God, and you kind of go back and forth with it. I mean, is it a struggle for you with whether or not you want to maybe stop what you're doing now and turn back to your faith and build another relationship with your parents? I mean, tell me if you struggle with your faith. Lay that out for me.
Personally, I do struggle with my faith. I don't know what to believe. Like it's like I just live day to day. Like I don't think like, oh, if I die, like, will I go to heaven? I try not to think about that stuff. Like I know like saying I'm a YOLO person, that sounds weird, but I am. Like I just live day to day. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I do struggle with that. I used to struggle with more when I was younger, like because I really wanted to be a good kid, but it was just like I liked trouble. I was like attracted to the party lifestyle, like doing drugs and stuff. So I don't know. I just thought.
You're the only kid?
Am I the only kid?
No. Yeah, do you have any siblings?
Oh, yes, I do have siblings. I have a sister and a brother.
And
they're younger.
Are they rebellious like you, or tell me a little bit about that?
No, my brother and sister are the total opposite. Like they're like goody. Like my sister's a freshman in high school. She like doesn't cuss or anything. Like she's so good. And it's just so weird because I was just doing so much when I was her age. And like it's just I can't even picture her doing those things. Like she's just a little goody.
And how old's your brother?
My brother, he's turning 13 this year. So he goes to a private middle school. But yeah, he doesn't really get in trouble for it. He's not like bad either. He doesn't really get in trouble for like a lot of things.
So do your parents maybe, because you're the oldest in the home, they expect you to be a role model to your siblings?
Yes, they do expect me to be a role model, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like they like, I think my siblings just see the way I behave, and they don't want to be put in that position with my parents. Like,
perfect.
Yeah.
And now, what about so let's talk a little bit more about your group of friends. Are all of them kind of rebelling? Do you still have any friends that are still religious and maybe in a different circle? Tell me a little bit about your group of friends.
Yeah, I hang out like my group of friends from high school. Yeah, they're kind of like rebellious. They're like on the same, like some of them are on the same page to me. Like we all like to party and drink and stuff and smoke. But I do have another group of friends, which is a group of friends I grew up with when I was younger, and they're like I don't want to say Christians, but they're like religious still. Like they don't drink, they don't smoke. Like I was at a hotel party last night and I was with my friends who are still like into religion stuff, and they like just they didn't drink or smoke. Like they just did their own thing the whole night. They just watched movies. Like everyone else is like drinking, smoking. They just sitting there. Like I could tell it makes them feel uncomfortable.
And do you feel like you're being like judged by them?
Oh yeah,
is it awkward for you?
yeah. Like when I hang out with them, it's just like the stuff that they find funny, I don't find funny, and I feel like I do get judged. Like when I got high yesterday, and I met up with them, and they just like they got kind of got pissed at me. But I'm like, I don't understand why my decisions like it's not affecting you. Like I'm not making you do anything, so I don't know why you're getting mad at me. Like they get pissy with me when I go out and do stuff, and I feel like I get judged, and I told them that, and they think I'm like being dramatic, but I know that they judge me.
Perfect, perfect. All right, and then so last question. As far as your beliefs and your parents' beliefs, do you guys ever did you see yourselves ever coming, being seeing eye to eye on religion and maybe coming to agreement and having a good relationship? Do you ever see that happening, or only if you kind of start acting like a quote unquote good pastor's daughter?
Yeah, I feel like with things with me and my mom are like smooth. Like my mom, like she doesn't accept my lifestyle, but she's more understanding. My dad, on the other hand, like his views are he doesn't understand why people do bad things. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't understand. Like he's like, what's the point of getting drunk? What's the point of smoking pot? Like he just doesn't understand that. Like I don't know, people struggle with everyday things. He doesn't get weakness. Like my dad's really successful. He's had like numerous successful jobs. So he doesn't understand like when people are on the same page as him. Like my dad's just not understanding. So I feel like we're always gonna bump heads. Like my mom said, like once I got older, she felt like we would be closer. But I don't know. Like I just feel like me and him are always gonna bump heads.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, cool. So let's you can stop recording.
Okay.